Another week means another update blog. Let's just jump into it. So it looks like we're getting the tunes for Forestry Part 2. Next week's update is only going to be maintenance. That means that this is our last proper game update before Leagues 4 comes out. And the current update that they've added in since the post is the new beehive for the player-owned houses no longer give construction XP. Apparently it was free construction training, and they're going to fix it with a cold fix in the near future. So let's check out the tweaks that they've made to Forestry. They're reaffirming that they're just tweaking it into getting it to a good spot for the skill. There is not going to be a part 3, it is only part 1 and 2. So the first change that they made this week, Forestry events are now going to be capped up to a maximum of 10 players. It was not capped before, effectively resulting in the Mass Worlds guaranteeing a Forestry event every single time. This should drop it down to still having plenty of events. It's just going to feel a little bit less frequent than it was before. The padded spoons have been changed. They are now going to be giving crafting experience as opposed to mining experience, as well as having the XP per craft being reduced. The beehives are now available. Out of the beehive event, you'll be able to get sturdy beehive parts. All you have to do is take them over to the big plant space in your garden or your formal garden, and you're even able to release the bees to let them fly about your home. And as we read earlier, this has been hotfixed to not give construction experience because it was an unintended method, and they're going to be looking at how to fix it properly here in the future. Apparently, some people were able to do griefing on the poachers event, so now the foxes and the poachers will no longer be spawning inside of buildings. And for the other tweaks, there's a fixed bug where XP bonuses from the felling axes as well as the lumberjack outfit were not stacking. Mentions of teas and tea brewing have been removed from the description of leaves. The Twitcher's glove text has been updated to show that they are a stackable item and they are used on every single tree cut rather than bird's nest obtained. The iron feeling axe typo has now been corrected over to the iron felling axe. And I guess there was a way to cancel the campfire lighting animation, resulting in you making a campfire without actually burning a log. That has also been fixed to where they always will require at least one log. We're also looking at some new Jagex account benefits that they released today. Number 1, the Stronghold of Security now has the fancier boots, which look like a combination of the fancy boots as well as the fighting boots, so you can basically have both at the same time now, as well as getting updated to actually have all of them at the same time in unlimited quantities. You just need to grab them from the Cradle of Life. But we also got a new random event for the overall game, Count Check. When he spawns, he will check to see if you have a Jagex account as well as a bank pin enabled. Ultimate Iron Men only need to have the Jagex account. If you do, he will give you an XP lamp, which gives you XP to 10 times your current level and the skill of your choice. Very similar to the Genie event. If you're missing a bank pin or the Jagex account, he will instead tell you some advice on how to improve it. Once you are able to, you can go visit him in Lumbridge to get an XP lamp as long as you've never had a reward from him before. It looks like he is going to become our new account security NPC, alongside the Port Sarum security advisor and the Lumbridge guide getting some update to their information. He has replaced the security advisor inside of the Lumbridge graveyard. Alternative worlds, such as the Permanent Dead Man world, he might have difficulty checking your account type, so you'll only need to worry about your bank pin on those worlds. And if you're wondering why they are pushing Jagex accounts so hard, I'll link their other Jagex account blog in the description, so you can check that out and read through why they think using a Jagex account is going to be your #1 form of security for your account. I'm going to assume one day that Jagex accounts will become mandatory, so you may as well check up how to get them now as opposed to being forced to do it later. On the next note, once again, Trailblazer Reloaded is going to be starting on November 15th. Up until then, they have given us a reveal and teaser calendar, so from November 2nd until November 15th, if you follow them on Twitter, you'll be able to see the daily releases of their teasers up until the new league. Luckily, since I'm kind of slow coming back into the game updates, we already have one released, the Trickster Relic. Looking at it in detail, it appears this is going to be our skilling boon relic. Not only will you automatically re-pickpocket targets, loot from pickpocketing is going to be doubled and noted, your coin pouch limit is multiplied by 3, you'll be given an item that grants agility XP that scales with agility level while you're running, your box traps will attract creatures faster, as well as having the loot from them doubled, your impling jars will not be able to break, you can burn 9 logs simultaneously, as well as not being able to fail any actions for thieving, agility, hunter, or firemaking. Since this is our only relic that we've had released so far, I can definitely say it sounds the strongest, and purely from the Sage's Greaves making agility passive for the route to max, I'm interested. Otherwise, for the changes brought in today, Path of Gluffrey brought us up to 300 quest points, and so we are now able to unlock that additional Slayer block slot. When you get planks from the sawmill, they will automatically be placed into the plank sack. This is a benefit for the sawmill vouchers out of Forestry, but it's just nice to see overall, and since it's not directly tied to Forestry, they decided to put it with other changes. It's just convenient if you have one of the plank sacks, because now you can do double inventories, as long as you use the vouchers. Angler and Spirit Angler outfits have had their values increase, so that way people are less likely to drop them. Remember that this also increases the value of their protection on death, so that might change some things if you happen to be fishing crabs in the wilderness. Alongside the addition of Count Check for random events, the Genie, Dr. Jekyll, and Count Check are all able to enter into banks following the player. They won't hang around for too long, but it does give you the time to go through your bank for Dr. Jekyll's herbs. Do note, events that teleport the player, like the mime or the school event, are not going to be affected by this change, so they will still disappear going into a bank. If you get a follow the bard clue step, he will now recognize your bounty hunter barrel chest anchor as opposed to only being forced to bring him a normal one. And Dromon's cat will no longer require you to have a cat speak amulet if you pass the required part of Dragon Slayer 2. Otherwise, there's the merch update. Looks like we get some more pins and an Amulet of Glory keychain, as well as one of the new caps for the retro style look. The PvP rotations. Like usual, feel free to pause the video, give it a look over. And we finish off with the reminder that there is not going to be an update next week, but in 2 weeks' time we will be seeing everybody for the beginning of Trailblazer Reloaded. And I am very excited to see that come out in 2 weeks from now. I appreciate you making it this far into the video. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about this week's changes, or if you're excited for the Trailblazer 4 teaser roadmap. Do me a favor with the usual YouTube things, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, as well as leave a like on the video. But above all, have a good rest of the day, you guys.